Hello. So we saw all the 48 teams. The first round of the group stage is over, and in about 8 hours, the second round starts. So 48 teams, 12 groups. The best two of each group go directly into the knockout round of 32. The best 8 of the third places also go into the knockout round. The criteria to determine the best third places are the points in the group, the goal difference, goals scored and goals conceded, and third criteria is goals scored in the group. The fourth criteria is disciplinary. It's yellow and red cards. So, now in 8 hours, Group A and Group B are going to start playing their second round. Let's start from a central match, which is Mexico-South Korea, and is going to be played in Guadalajara, where South Korea played its first game against Czechia. My feeling is that South Korea now is full of self-confidence. They may try to hide it, but it's quite difficult to hide it because they have played a good game against Czechia. They were losing, they came back, and they scored the winning goal in the last minute. That gives a lot of confidence. They played much better. Even the manager of Czech Republic acknowledged it, that the stronger won. And going into the game with Mexico, they have the advantage of Guadalajara because we didn't have to move and they played on that pitch already. And they have the advantage of not having lost for a red card any player. Mexico lost a player. As you remember, the opening game, the historic opening game, because I don't think that in the future, it didn't happen in the past, and I don't think it will happen in the future, 3 red cards in one game. So anyway, the best, I think, one of the best, in my opinion, the best defender, Mexican defender, was expelled in the last moment. And Cesar Montes is a very experienced player, and he's like an anchor. He's an anchor of Mexican defense, and that's a big loss. Of course, the Mexicans try to hide it. They say that they have substitutes. Of course, you have substitutes, no doubt. But some people are difficult to substitute. And Korea has a very, very solid backbone. It has a very experienced and good goalkeeper. It has Kim, who plays in Bayern Munich, who is a very solid defender. It has now, for us, sort of a surprise. I'm not sure I can pronounce him well, but I'll just say Huang. He scored the first goal. And he was as assist man of a second. He's a midfielder, and he's very talented, really. I did not expect to see in South Korea such a midfielder. And Son, the hero of the nation, the captain of the team. He is still in great form. He played a fantastic season with Los Angeles, and he is a great danger. I see Korea as by far, in my opinion, by far the strongest team in Group A. I understand that the manager of Mexico is a very pragmatic person. Duarte, it's his third term. It's the third time he's coaching the national team of Mexico. So he's experienced. He knows the public opinion. So if we talk about public opinion, it's quite important that Mexico, the first game they played against South Africa, they were not very ecstatic about the result. I mean, they said, okay, fine, we won, but we still have to prove. We still have to prove that once for all, we're going to reach the stage of 16. Mexico has never reached the stage of 16, and it always had a disastrous opening game. And well, they had a disaster this time too because we got a red card. But anyway, they are conscious. They fear, and that's not a bad thing. Because if you're overconfident, and I feel that South Koreans are confident, but I don't feel that they're overconfident. So anyway, the team that wins certainly goes into a knockout stage of 32, and it goes from the first place. That's important. If they tie, well, then the third game is going to decide. But the important thing in that game is not to lose. That's and I don't know if both teams will understand it. I'm absolutely certain that the Mexican manager will understand it. But the manager of Korea should as well. He's experienced. He was a captain of a national team. He was a central defender. He is coaching this team for a long time. And I think he's also conscious. The second game, so my prediction is that South Korea should win, but if they tie, I won't be surprised. Czechia, South Africa. Well, Czechia is also very pragmatic. I mean, they see that they don't have a great team. They don't even have a good team. They have a very sort of, what would I should say? I don't want to say lousy, but, well, more or less. It's between middle and lousy, somewhere there. They have the center forward, Patrick Schick, who is very technical, very promising. He's promising about 6 years now, I think, and he still remains promising. But he doesn't have that anger in his belly. I mean, so if you're a center forward, besides being technical and besides having a good precise shot, you need to have that anger. If you don't have that anger in the penalty box, nothing is going to happen, and he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. And so I don't believe very much in Czechia, but the thing is that I believe less in South Africa. So I think that the Czech Republic should win, and it will win, probably. A renaissance of South Africa, having lost two important players with red card, is very improbable. Very improbable, because we are talking about defense and midfield. Those are positions which are very difficult to fill. So I say, no doubt, Czechia. Now we go to Group B. I said, I think, but I was absolutely certain that Switzerland is by far the strongest team in this group. Well, we saw that miracles happen, and Switzerland, they were winning 1-0 against Qatar, and all of a sudden they sort of felt satisfied with it. They did not push strong enough, that anger in the belly or whatever it's called, and they paid the price. A last-minute goal, and Qatar tied unexpectedly. Now, as far as public opinion is concerned, of course, in Switzerland, they were very disappointed. Of course, they expected this team to do more, and it is capable of doing more, and it will do more, I'm certain about it, because it has a right balance of experience and energy. It has a good center forward, because Embolo is a good center forward. So it has a very good goalkeeper. So I think they are the strongest team, and they remain the strongest team. And I'm certain we're going to beat Bosnia. It's, Bosnia is more or less on the level of Czech Republic, between lousy and sort of not very lousy and sort of mediocre. They were lucky to beat Canada in the first game in Toronto. I suppose that Canadians were very emotional, and I suppose that it was, the first game in history on Canadian soil. Canada has never ever had a point in the history of a World Cup. And here we come out, and it's Toronto, and it's, of course, the stadium is full, and emotions are flying, and a lot of Bosnians, honestly, and people from Herzegovina as well. And we first, I mean, if I said that the first half, Canada played hockey and not football, and I still continue to say it. But you see, the critique in Canada and public opinion were really naive because football is not their game. And they said, well, basically, I'm talking about the debates on various media resources, be it TV, be it social, be it newspapers. I, oh, we had so many chances and we didn't score. Well, I didn't see that many chances. I saw Canada wake up in the second half because we were losing, and I saw finalists they tried to play football and they played. And Kyle Larin came in and immediately scored a goal, and it was a draw. Okay, fine. But to say that Canada did not score because it could have scored many more goals, I mean, it's a little bit more of an exaggeration. You don't look at football in that way. You look at football, there are 11 players and they create a big Shakespearean drama. And you have to see it as a whole. You can't look at individuals. You have to look at the team. And the teams that have great individuals, they're not many, but they're very lucky. So I think that Canada, not having analyzed profoundly enough why they failed the first game in Toronto, may fail again. And they may fail against Qatar because of Arab public opinion. And not only in Qatar, I'm talking now about Arab-speaking countries. They're very sober. They said that Qatar, yeah, it tied. It was by chance because it was also a last-minute goal. But they hosted World Cup 2022, and they played in it, and they played very badly, and they scored one goal but conceded 7. So at least now they have sort of shown to the world that they exist. And that's already a victory. They exist. So they're humble. And they'll try to continue existing in Vancouver. Canada and the Canadian manager, he said it openly, so I'm not creating anything. He said that Vancouver is the city where Canadians feel at home. Why? Because it's basically mono-ethnic. Vancouver is a city where Canadians live only. You don't have, this melting pot like Toronto, where everybody lives. Portuguese, Italian, Spanish, you name it. And Vancouver is very solid. It loves the Canadian national football team, and of course, that's what the general manager said. They think that the atmosphere is going to be much more emotional than it was in Toronto. So, but I have that gut feeling, which very often fails me. So don't take it for granted. But I have a gut feeling that Qatar is not going to lose. I don't know why. I can't explain to you because I see quite an organized team without any particular talents, but they have a desire, that centralized football system, education, the academy that they have built on very solid scientific basis, the search for talent, the development of talent. They want to win. They just know, that it will come, and they know that it will not come now. But they are enough to beat Canada. Is Canada enough to beat Qatar? Even in Vancouver? I'm not that sure. That is basically it. That's what I foresee. What will happen, we'll see tomorrow.